Hello, welcome back to another episode of Mac and D. I am joined as always by James Big Dom Dutton. How you doing, James?
Dominating. Hey, the door's open and this cat won't go out. I don't know what is going on here. It just wants to
Genius.
have a pod today.
Genius level IQ. I don't know about you, James. I'm kind of tired of the Big Dom story. I got an alert on my way home that Big Dom was facilitating a conversation between Nick Sirianni, the Eagles head coach, and AJ Brown to have a bit of a hey, come to Jesus moment. Why is he doing that? He's a bodyguard. Like, just be a bodyguard. I don't understand why he's like also a
I'm looking this guy up.
spiritual.
I don't know who he is.
He's the big like goon that just kind of hangs out by Nick Sirianni as like his personal bodyguard as he like walks across the field and stuff towards halftime, towards the locker
Yeah,
room, all that kind of stuff.
not his thing to worry about.
I just don't understand why that is his thing. And like AJ Brown has been in the news. We were talking earlier that Chad Ochocinco walked so AB could run, and I think it's all just so AJ Brown could fly. He's in the
Exactly.
news this week because he was streaming and he was like, "Hey, if you got me in fantasy, get rid of me." And it's like,
hmm
dude, I mean, he truly is one of the biggest busts we've ever seen in fantasy. He was a round one guy for a lot of people, myself included. What's been going on there?
and that whole offense isn't really clicking. I mean, if we just start there, right? And then secondly, when they do click, it's through the legs of Saquon or Jalen. It's not really a pass first offense.
Yeah.
So they run first and they've been ahead in like every game. There's no real need to just air it out and go crazy. So I think that's kind of what you've been seeing.
Yeah. And it really feels like, in a lot of ways, it reached a bit of a crescendo this past week. They play to a 10-7 stalemate, I would call it. It was genuinely one of the ugliest big matchup games. Going into it, I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. You got like the 5-3-1 Packers, you got like the 6-2 Eagles. Like, this is going to be a big time, awesome Monday Night Football game. We've been getting a lot of good ones this year, honestly. And it was just the biggest stink fest of my life. That Sirianni call to go for it on fourth down, dumbfounding. I was actually kind of taken aback, and he actually let the Packers potentially get a win there. I was happy the Packers lost, obviously, but I was also, kind of hoping that the Eagles would lose so the Lions could jockey for that first overall seed. But yeah, I mean, if you have AJ Brown in fantasy, I don't even know what you're supposed to do. My buddy Joe, shout out Joe, big Colts here. He was asking me, what am I supposed to do with AJ Brown? Like, did I do something wrong? And I was like, buddy, I don't think you did anything wrong. Like, the process was right, but the guy is just wrong this year.
Yeah, honestly, Joe's hilarious for that one. The first time getting back into fantasy and just being like, did I do like was it what did I mess up? The guy's not hurt. Why is he bad?
Yeah, it's his first time in like 5 years playing fantasy, and he is currently 0-10. I am so sorry, Joe. This week, AJ Brown had 3 targets, 2 receptions for 13 yards on the season.
Elite numbers.
On the season, James, what do you think his positional rank is at wide receiver?
48.
Wide receiver 40. You were very close.
Okay.
Well done. Well done. And for a guy who was generally taken as like a top five receiver in all of fantasy, that is abhorrent. And I mean, maybe he'll turn it around. Maybe he'll do something for you in the playoffs, but I just have a hard time seeing anybody
I think
actually
the
making the
problem is
playoffs.
he'll do something in the real playoffs, not the fantasy playoffs. And that
Yeah.
doesn't help fantasy players.
And I think the lesson from all this, and you can disagree, is I think I'm just done drafting any non Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley Eagles players until they have some sort of big philosophical change at the top, in terms of coaching. They've switched out offensive coordinators, didn't really change all that much. I think that this is just a run first, second, third down. Maybe a rule change or something could change that with the tush push, but I think I'm just out on the Eagles.
Mhm. I'm kind of with you.
It's just not fun football at this point, at least for
No,
fantasy
Dude, let's
purposes.
also just take a step back. 10-7 to start on Thursday. Whatever, that's just Thursday football. 10-7 to end it on Monday. What a just turd sandwich of bread there.
Gotta love that, man. And, smart people bet the over on that Thursday night
I
game
think good
between.
games, right? You had like Patriots Bucks was an awesome game if you're a Patriots fan. Dolphins Bills was an awesome game if you're a Patriots fan. there's a lot of great games going on this week.
Yeah, it was a fun Sunday, and we'll get into all of that. But starting with scars and bars, 6 minutes into the podcast, the biggest scar of the week has to be Brian Dabble down bad. Looks like my buddy Jameson. Brian Dabble got fired this past week after I think it was like 3 seasons with the Giants. He was the offensive coordinator guru that basically built Josh Allen out of nothing, unceremoniously fired. The rumor is that he got fired because of Jackson Dart's injuries and just overall mismanagement. A lot of people were thinking that, hey, he's using Jackson Dart as a battering ram to try and save his career, save his season, and it obviously wasn't working. They're 2-8, and the Giants look very bad on defense and even worse on offense at times. And Dart has left games 4 times for injuries this season, including multiple times for concussions. What
Not
will
what
you
you want.
remember? What's that?
Not what you want out of your rookie quarterback.
Yeah. What
Especially when
what
showing some promise.
exactly? What would you say Brian Dabble's legacy is for the Giants now?
I mean, it's got to just be one playoff win, right?
Hmm.
You kind of tip your cap, say thank you for that one wild Daniel Jones season, but good riddance.
It is a shame because I mean that's what I'm going to remember too is that Giants over Vikings. I think it was 2023 playoff win, and like that was awesome, but it also set Dabble back so far because now he's gonna have to do it all over again, right? Like he's gonna have to go be an offensive coordinator, rehab his value, and then maybe he'll be able to be a coach again, maybe. And it's like if he just would have bottomed out that year with Danny Dimes as his quarterback, he could have gotten a new
Yeah, because then they had
quarterback.
to re-sign Danny, and yeah, that crushed him. Because I mean, Daniel Jones was so bad for the Giants.
And it just goes to show how much of the NFL sometimes is just timing. Like you need to be bad at the right time with the right draft. And look at the Jaguars, right? Like they get the first overall pick with Travis or Trayvon Walker, excuse me. And every guy after him is an all pro level guy. You got Derek Stingley, Aiden Hutchinson, Sauce Gardner. And then like they get the second overall pick this past year, they get Travis Hunter and he's out for the season. So it's like it's crazy just how much that timing ends up playing into it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so the Giants are going towards Mike Kafka, Northwestern Wildcat legend, to be the interim head coach. Who do you want to see go over to the Giants? Is it a Bill Belichick moment?
That would be bizarre. I don't see that happening. I think, I mean, if we're, too early to tell, who's even been a coordinator long enough that you think maybe, I mean, just like it can't be Joe Brady, right? I mean, that doesn't make sense, but maybe,
It was like
like, I mean, like someone from the
Spags.
McDermott tree, it feels like might go that way. Or yeah, maybe Spags if he just wants to give it one more shot. I think he likes his situation too much.
Yeah. People have been kind of talking about some retreads, and Spags even technically fits that. McCarthy keeps getting thrown around too a
I
little
could see
bit.
McCarthy. McCarthy would make a ton of sense too because the Giants have been so bad for so long. They're going to be pretty happy winning 10 games this season.
Yeah. And I think this season has gone well from a hey, you can get some talented people in the room standpoint, right? Like going into this year, I was feeling awful about the Giants. You got the weird Russell Wilson Jackson Dart dynamic. Dart was not a good prospect. I don't care who you're talking to. I don't just looking back on all of it, objectively not a great prospect. Ended up being a diamond in the rough. Crazy how, quarterbacks end up working out. And obviously, you got Malik Neighbors who will be coming back healthy. You got a good running back in Cam Scadaboo if he comes back healthy. Hopefully he does. Like the outlook, I feel like overall for the Giants looks better than ever. So it's like I feel like you can get a good candidate out of this year's crop. And you're beating everybody to the punch. You fired your coach so much earlier than what a lot of other teams are going to do. And so it's like your only competition right now is the Titans. So like it gives you a good chance to jump on that wagon quickly. Sticking in the East, Garrett Wilson out for a month. They just actually just put him on IR today. Thank God we do podcasts on Thursday, right? This
Right, of
sucks.
course.
This sucks, right? Like Garrett Wilson's such a fun
Yeah.
player.
Well, he was having a great season too, kind of a sneaky, underrated season. Has really been out the past 2 or 3 weeks anyway. Kind of came back, tried it, got I think all of a target or zero targets, and just walked right back out of the game, goes straight to IR. This one's just brutal. I don't even know what was the injury. I never even heard anything from this.
It's a knee injury. I guess he like twisted something weird, something wrong. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how Justin Fields is even going to crack 100 passing yards at this point. Like the wide receivers were already abysmal in New York, and like without Wilson, it's like what are you going to throw to the ghost of Josh Reynolds? Like Is Quincy Enunwa available? Like, I don't even know what you're supposed to do against Gonzo tonight and the Patriots. Like, it's going to be very, very tough, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we got a viewer question today. Shout out Will Brown. He was in a bit of a stalemate. He was like, "Hey, do I trade away Garrett Wilson for a lesser player, objectively for fantasy, Sam Laporta, or do I kind of hold on to Garrett Wilson and kind of hold on to that magic?" I think you just got to go Laporta because I feel like Wilson will probably get shut down by the end of the season, right?
Well, even before the IR news, I was like, dude, the way the Jets have been playing, the way they're kind of waving the flag on the season, and knowing Will's roster, I was like, just get Laporta. You're better off having a tight end. You can just lock in your roster versus a flex that you're not sure about. But if the person still wants to do it post Garrett Wilson going on IR, then oh my God, smash that as hard as possible.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like he's going to come back. They're going to still be at 2 wins on the season, right? And then they're going to be like, "Hey, Garrett Wilson, you can just rest it at the end of the day." And like, yeah, I feel like at this point, Laporta is just a better flex play, and Garrett Wilson is only averaging like 50 receiving yards per game. Justin Fields just can't get him the ball, or Tyrod Taylor, whoever ends up being the starter. So it's just a lost season in New York. Hopefully, they'll figure out the quarterback situation going into next year. And this season had a lot of promise, New York. That first game against the Steelers, they were awesome, put up 32 points, and it's all been downhill ever since then. So tough year in New York. Uh, Bucky Irving, also a tough scar here. He doesn't have a timetable to return. I heard some smoke that he was like coming back for practice potentially, which is definitely a good sign. But goddamn, this Bucky season has not been fun.
This has been a bad Bucky season. Um, it's another one very similar to CD where it's like if you just throw him on IR immediately versus kind of being wishy-washy about it. It's been what, 6, 7 weeks? I mean, it's been since week 2 or 3, hasn't it? That he's just been out. It's been a long time.
And that was kind of my takeaway too, is like it's all fun and games when it's like, oh, you're just getting right, you're just getting healthy, and it's like shit, it's week 11. Like it's time to get healthy. Like if you're playing, you're playing. Otherwise, like just sit out the entire season. The thing with Bucky, Todd Bowles was saying is that he can't take a hit right now. Literally like if he gets hit at all, like it's just excruciating pain. So they're like, we can't put him out there if he's not able to take at least a hit. So there's just
Mhm.
no ifs, ands, or buts about
Because
it.
it is a shoulder, it's like an AC joint or something, right?
Exactly. And it's just like, that sucks, man. Like, it's not even like something that's going to affect his legs or anything like that. He just needs to get healthy. It sucks for fantasy purposes and it sucks for the Buccaneers too, because they need some juice. Like,
Rashad White's not the same.
no, not even a little bit. The offensive line does get some good push, but Baker holds on to that ball a lot. I texted you this, and it's a little bit of a shock. Baker Mayfield's been bad for like a month, and it's like you can't really even blame the guy because he doesn't really have receivers outside of Ibuka, who's also in and out, and the running backs are bad. It's been kind of upsetting for the Bucks. The season came out with so much promise, and then Evans goes down, Godwin's out forever. Godwin, more like God loss. It's just frustrating. It's very, very tough to watch.
Yeah, the Bucks have an opportunity to get healthy the last month of the season and just go on a tear. But they got to get right. To your point, I mean, they've got to get 3 or 4 guys truly healthy and back at it, or they're going to be kind of a one and done in the playoffs.
Very much so. Terrell Jennings got beat up in last week's game for the Patriots in their win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It looked like that was still just going to be another thing in the Travion Henderson saga, where it's like, Terrell Jennings is hurt. Dearness Johnson, it's your time, buddy, right off the practice squad. And then luckily we got 2 massive Travion Henderson rushes. I know you were like dead after your 50-mile ultra marathon, but how excited were you? Did you get out of your seat? Did you jump up on your on
I didn't get out of my seat, but I definitely gave it a good fist bump. It was nice. I mean, I was like in bed, falling like on the verge of falling asleep, and it was like the meme of the dude like, oh, it's like Travion Henderson 56-yard touchdown. You're just like, am I reading that right? Nice.
I bet you're like Wolverine laying in bed. You're like holding the picture frame of Travion Henderson, just like stroking it, just very excited. But yeah, that was a very exciting Travion Henderson game. I mean, like the hard part with that too is like outside of those 2 rushes, they still didn't really even give him that much run, even with all the necessity.
14
But
carries.
but Mondre's out this week, which I think will bode very, very well for Travion, which is exciting.
Yeah.
We talked about Jackson Dart, got another concussion. I don't know, man. That's just in and out. He's awesome when he plays, and his legs are so much better than whenever he was in college. Like this isn't even just like, hey, he's 22 years old and has fresher legs than everybody else. He genuinely is just fast as fuck. It's very, very impressive. But also, speaking of quarterbacks' legs, Brock Purdy is finally back. Just got that announcement. So
If he has a bad game, kind of like the last time they brought him back too soon, like what? Did they just cut him and roll Mac Jones the rest of the lifetime? Like what happens?
I mean, money talks, right? I mean, Brock Purdy's making what, like 50 million a year now, but it's like I'm on the same page. Like, there's going to be other quarterback needy teams this offseason. You trade Brock Purdy to the first better, like, hey, you give me a third round pick, great, that's fine by me. Mac Jones for 2 million a year, we're good, LeBron. We got Ben Simmons, so it's like Mac has been playing so well, been playing on time, even when they're losing, like they lost to the Rams this past week. Mac Jones still holding his own. Like it's crazy how you get a quarterback whisperer with a good system, with a quarterback that has the tools, and it all just starts falling into place. So yeah, it wouldn't shock me to see that old switcheroo back and forth, shadow bench, kind of like going on with what's going on in Arizona, where Brock Purdy just has a very, very short leash. It could just make a lot of sense. And then on the weapon side in San Francisco, Brandon Ayuk, is he alive? Like
I
again, it's
don't
week
think so.
11.
I think his leg actually got amputated.
What shocked me at this point, it feels like it might be like kind of like the Debo Samuel like pneumonia situation where it's just like by being out for so long, it's also caused other issues on the trying to get back and everything. I'm so tired of it. I've had Ayuk on a couple of my fancy benches just toiling away. I don't even have an IR spot for him at this point. I'm just like him and Joe Mixon and Calvin Ridley and all these
I
other
think I
guys.
cut bait at week 4. It's just like, all right, Ayuk, you're dead. You're dead to me.
It's so fresh. And then even on his own team, I mean, Juwan Jennings actually had a good week, which was huge, but he's been in and out. And then Ricky Pearsall, and it's like, what do you do with
Here's
him?
what's playing this week. He's back with Purdy.
Thank God. So San Francisco finally getting a little bit healthy, and they need it. I mean, that back end of the NFC wildcard slot is going to be really tight. Like the AFC is pretty cut and dry right now. You got the haves and the have-nots. The wild card's going to come down to like a 4 or 5 teams in the NFC, and all of them, I would argue, are incredibly good. The NFC West being as good as it is has really, really put some pressure on some of these teams, I feel like.
Yeah.
Moving to bars in our scars and bars section, I got two for you. One's hilarious, but the first one is Kevin Stefanski. He's at a press conference. He's talking to the press, and he's like, "If you've played Madden, you've called plays," and it's like, Stefanski, I love you. I know you're kind of like playing down a little bit to the rest of the league, to the press. You're not trying to show too many cards or whatever. But it's like, God damn, man, what a comment.
Yeah. Yeah, we've heard the Gruden play call before. That is not pressing A on the Xbox controller.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it. I was just like, that's hilarious. And then the other one I loved, you probably heard this one, but I fell out of my chair whenever I heard this. I was actually in the car still whenever he said this, and I was listening in, and I was like, I looked over at Bear, I was like, did I just hear what I just thought I heard? It was Tony Romo on the Patriots Bucks game, and it kind of went viral afterwards. He probably already heard this, but he said the Patriots are DTF, which stands for details, toughness, and finish. James, is that where your mind goes when you think of DTF?
Oh, 100%, right? I knew what he meant. He didn't even have to, I don't know why he, took it further, but I think you missed the most important part, which was the 4-second pause, or then Jim Nance goes, and then Romo goes, details, toughness, finish.
It was so good. And like you said, it's so nonchalantly again, like as if everybody knows what that means and it knew exactly what he was trying to say. I hope that this was just something that he had to like come up with on the spot and it wasn't like an engineered moment, although it probably was. I would have loved to see him lean into it even more. Say like DTF stands for like devotionals, tribulations, and
Mhm.
faith. Just go all
What
in,
was
you know?
better? Tony Romo giving the Patriots or DTF, or Tony Romo on the Bills Chiefs game just going, for 4 seconds?
His moans just come out and it's like finish your thought, man. Like I get it. Like we've talked about it a few times on the pod. Like sometimes when you're speaking and everything, you just can't spit it out. The word you're just choking on it. But he holds it, man. It's like a bad note from a singer. It's like, dude, just move on. It's so freaking bad. Love Tony Romo. It's probably only going to get worse from here. So gotta love that. Did you
He
see
has
that?
the ultimately long leash. He can do whatever he wants.
Seemingly, speaking of long leash, did you see that Drew Brees is back on the mic?
I did. He's replacing the infamous Mark Sanchez, if I'm not mistaken.
The stabbed
Equal,
Mark
equal
Sanchez.
quarterbacks, obviously, and then equally good people off the field.
Well,
A true one for one trade.
Will Drew Brees lie about getting struck by lightning again? Does lightning strike twice, James? That is the question.
Maybe.
I hope. James, are there any games that you want to detail from this past week? As we talked about, there are so many awesome ones this past Sunday.
I
Not in the
mean,
afternoon slot, but in the early slot for sure.
I think you have to. The way the season has gone, everyone finding a way to bend over backwards and discredit the Patriots, you have to give them the tip of the cap. Going seven straight now, winning on the road against some very important teams. It's a good Patriots team.
Yeah. That was a true test right there. And, the Bucks are putting it to him. Ibuka was even kind of giving the business to Gonzo, clamped that shit down later in the game. It was a complete all three levels game, which you love to see from the Patriots. They're truly peaking at the perfect time as we get into the second half of the season. Obviously, I you gotta feel a little bit scared come playoff time though, just from the lack of playoff experience, right?
It's just a game, right? With Variable at the helm, I feel a lot better than if it was like somehow Mayo was putting this together. This feels like a very, very focused team. They're all saying the right thing in pressers. They're all doing the right thing on and off the field. This is a very fun kind of surprise. We thought this would happen in the Vrabel regime. We did not think it was going to be season number one.
Yeah, exactly. And it's crazy how much one person can kind of flip the entire script. And I think it's interesting how much rookies are playing into the top tier contenders on in both leagues in the NFC and the AFC. You got, all the rookies in Seattle doing their thing. You got Buka, Tez Johnson doing their thing in Tampa Bay. And then, not only is it Travion Henderson, second year Drake May, but it's also Kyle Williams. He had his first touchdown of the season, a crazy
He was
70-yard catch and
he
run.
was fast on that play.
Yeah, I knew he was fast. Watching him at Washington State, I didn't know he was that fast.
That was the I think I can get my first NFL touchdown burst of adrenaline if I'm not mistaken.
They got Vrabel running with him on the sideline and everything, kind of like the Antonio Gibson return touchdown earlier in the season. That was awesome, and it was his first catch in weeks. Like he had just not been
Mhm.
involved in the offense. You're like, hey, is he going to get the Roman Wilson treatment and kind of fade out of the offense a little bit? And then he popped all the way off. So that was pretty sweet to see. I'm surprised you didn't want to talk about Colts Falcons and Berlin. What a
This game was
game!
gross, dude.
I mean, they got the dang thing done. Jonathan Taylor is an absolute
Can we have an honest discussion that JT should be the MVP, right? I mean, it's
yeah.
fun. Like no quarterback has gone above and beyond outside of maybe Stafford. Can we please, for the love of God, just give JT the MVP this year?
And it's funny how we're kind of having identical college and NFL type seasons from the awards standpoint, right? Like college, there's good quarterbacks, but like none of them are having like game breaking seasons, exactly like you're talking about. They're not having like a Lamar 2019 season. They're not having a Josh Allen 2024 season, even. They're all just kind of having pretty good seasons, and not bad. And it's like, why are we not talking about other positions? Like in college, it's like, hey, let's talk about Jacob Rodriguez at Texas Tech and let's elevate him a little bit. And in the NFL, it's like, hey, let's talk about a JT, perhaps. Let's talk about a Nick Bonito even in Denver. Like there's a few guys that
JSN,
realistically
that's who you want to talk about?
fair. I mean, dude is still going all the way off. Me and Nathan in our Olin league in our Washi league, we had a bet. He was like, hey, my team's terrible. Your team is already gonna make the playoffs. Like bench JSN. I was like, okay, bet. Bench JSN, and I still beat him by 20 points.
Heck yes, dude. I love that.
Like if you look back on it, it's like, why would I ever bench JSN? Like there's no reason for me to ever. I put in Quentin Johnson instead. Still beat him. It was great. Um, What were we talking about? Oh, just yeah. I mean, JT. Even before this week, it was like, hey, at least he should be in the conversation. And now it's like, oh, he should be at the front of the room. He should be at the very tippity top of
Hmm.
the conversation, realistically, because like all the quarterback seasons this year are good, but they're not insane. And it's like, hey, maybe we finally open it up to a few other folks. That'd be pretty sweet. I love the Daniel Jones. He had a couple bad plays, but he was able to right the ship a little bit. He got hit in the mouth, so he had some blood coming out of his mouth, and it
Hmm.
was so freaky looking. And the game went to OT, and the Colts ultimately got the dub. It was an awesome game for the Colts to continue to win and kind of get right after getting literally punched in the mouth last week. But the Falcons, man, they're imploding, dude. They're 3-6. They are falling so far behind in the division.
I mean, they don't use their three best players. So like, what is it you expect is going to happen? I mean, I think Bichon got out touched by Algier in this game.
Yeah, they are on a
What
four
is that?
game four game losing streak now. They were 3-2 just a month ago. This is a team that I think a lot of people are like, hey, the division's weak. You got the Panthers, who are pretty fraudulent. I think we can all agree. You got the Saints, who are awful. Got their second win. Shout out. And the Bucks are perennially injured. So it's like if anybody was going to elevate into that slot is the Falcons, but it feels like it's going to be a lost year once again. Why do they only beat the good teams, James? I don't understand.
I don't get it. I'm with you. It's so confusing.
They're genuinely the most confusing team in all of the NFL. What's another game that you want to
They'll
highlight?
play a half of football. That's the best half of football you've ever seen,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
follow it up with like letting up 50 points.
It's gonna be a shame if their takeaway here is like, let's not spend money on Drake London. It's like that's not the problem, buddy.
Yeah, that was
Like
not the problem.
you need your
Is he just
defense to
mopping people?
you need your defense to mature and you need your coaching to be specifically offensive play calling, like you said, to be better. And like that would just fix so much. But they're young on defense
Um,
and I don't know.
let's talk Texans Jags, right? This is a game the Jags, for all intents and purposes, should have won the entire time. They clutched defeat from the jaws of victory. Like
Again.
Trevor Lawrence has to be gone, right?
Yeah.
What do you do as a Jaguar? Like I have no. I mean, they got BTJ, who's meh. They've got Travis Hunter, who's unfortunately hurt. You got T Law, who's making $50 million to put up stinkers.
He's not even putting them in a position to potentially win games, come back in games. I don't know if you saw Liam Cohen after the strip sack to end the game. Liam Cohen, the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, you can kind of just tell on his face. He's like, fuck this quarterback. He just cost us the game. He rips off his headset, throws it onto the ground, just sprints to the locker room as soon as he gets sacked. And it's like, I can't blame him. I mean, him and Gladstone need to figure this out. They need to get a better quarterback in there. Obviously, a lot of health at receiver could go a long way. Realistically, had to trade for Jacoby Myers. Travis Hunter is now out for the season officially. Might
Mhm.
be ending his two-way tenure already, which really, really sucks. And then BTJ has that high ankle sprain, which also sucks. But it's like you can't be having these type of games. You beat the Chiefs a few weeks ago. You are on the
Mhm.
top of the world. Texans are beating themselves up with Davis, General Mills.
If you're the Chiefs, are you just glad that the Jags won't make the playoffs? Like, is that not the Chiefs' kryptonite?
Yeah, it feels like it. I mean, Texans too, to a degree. Like, if there was going to be a team that just like, I hate to say it, but like the Texans got some dirty players on defense, especially, right? It's like if there's going to be a team that like was going to beat up on the Chiefs come a playoff game and probably still lose, but like take out a few players while doing so, it was going to either be the Jags or the Texans, and both teams can't get out of their own way this season. It's actually pretty incredible. Um,
Hmm.
that was a cool comeback though from the Texans. Hell of a defensive
They also covered
performance.
by running back that strip sack that helped them cover. Otherwise, so like the betters love them.
Gotta love Vegas. Gotta love Vegas. And you're talking about some defensive touchdowns. How about those Seahawks, dude? Like, they didn't even need Sam
They have
Darnold.
three touchdowns on defense,
They had
or
two
just
ide-
two.
they had two identical defensive touchdowns. I stopped watching after that because it was literally 35-0 early in the second quarter. I'm like, I don't need to watch this game anymore. Cardinals were peaking, right? They just come off the best win of the season, beating the Cowboys, really kind of rectified what they were doing. And then all of a sudden the Cardinals go into Seattle and just get smacked absolutely in the mouth. DeMarcus Lawrence, talk about an insane signing for them. DeMarcus Lawrence, kind of looked dead in the water as a veteran, leaving the Cowboys and everything like that, is having an insanely awesome season. Their front four is putting in absolute work.
Since trading Russell Wilson, have the Seahawks had maybe the most underrated just GM moves?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like that trade itself, their drafting has been great since then. Everyone was kind of like, "Oh, Gino's playing pretty good. Like, why are they getting rid of him?" They're like, "No, no, no, no. We want Darnold. Bring this man in here. Like, we believe in him." Everyone was kind of scratching their like, Gino and Darnold are the same player. Well, Gino's putting up, 50 yard games, and Darnold's looking, all pro caliber. You just got to tip your cap. They got something figured out in Seattle, and they need to because, as you said earlier, that division's tough.
Yeah. It's a great
You're not getting
call.
cakewalk games against the 49ers, the Rams, or even the Cardinals, although apparently you do get some cakewalks against the Cardinals.
Yeah, whenever they have, Jacoby Brissett just flat on his back, flailing around, throwing the ball up to DeMarcus Lawrence to get the return touchdown. It's a great call out, like saying, hey, the Seattle Seahawks, 99% of the time, a team loses their best quarterback in franchise history. They're having a 2-15 season immediately after, right? Like the Seahawks at least remain competitive, haven't always made the playoffs since Russell Wilson has left, but they were able to turn those assets into good players. They're even getting to the point now where they're like able to turn some of those players that they got from those assets into even more assets, right? And it's really paying off for them. And that plus like they fell flat on their face with the Jamal Adams trade, and they recovered from that sunk cost really quickly. They've drafted well. They said, "Hey, we believe in Cooper Kupp and JSN, two slot receivers, and they still coexist incredibly well." And exactly like you're saying, now we got Tyler Lockett just toiling away in Vegas, and like how much better do the Seattle Seahawks look compared to that Vegas team? So it's a masterclass for sure. What's another game you want to highlight, James?
Um, I'm trying to think. I mean, there was just so many stinkers here. Maybe Rams over 49ers, just like the Rams dominated kind of from start to finish here. And still to your point, like Max still had like 350 yards passing. Like this was a weird, not very NFC West game, just based off of two very high scoring teams versus it being like 17-20.
Mm-hmm.
But the Rams are legit, man. Yeah, I think you texted me and said, remember when we thought Stafford's back was like dust, and now all of a sudden he just is apparently Superman?
Yeah, it's the veneers, man, and they're wearing their midnight blacks this upcoming week. Like those puppies are going to be shining out of his mouth. And yeah, he's having arguably the best season of his career. Incredibly efficient, avoiding turnovers. Isn't really putting up a lot of yards. Like he's kind of letting Kyron Williams, Blake Corum kind of figure things out between the 20s, and then he's just helping punch it in. It's the unction, you got Devontae Adams hurting his back, literally like pulling it like a dad, and you got Matthew Stafford, he's seemingly in and out in terms of his health, but he's just gutting it out. It's been an awesome season all the way around for that Rams team, and they're really showing us that experience can really come into can really kind of push you into a lot of rarefied airs. It's funny though too. I'm sure you saw the stat. This has been well publicized, but Matthew Stafford finally got to 500 in his
I
career.
think I seen that. I was just laughing, like, what did the poor Lions do to this man?
I know. It's like my dad, he was talking to me about that. We went to dinner earlier this week, and he's like, how's that even happen? Like, Dad, he went like he went like 2-14 like 5 times to start his career. Like
Mhm.
Matthew Stafford early career lines are like some of the worst teams of all time. I'm not shocked it took him this long to get to that level. It's just
No, but
pretty
it's just
funny.
crazy to think like he's been on a Super Bowl contender for 5 years straight at this point. And it's just like, yeah, but do you remember 10, 11, and 12? This team couldn't buy a win with Megatron and Stafford.
And even when they were making the playoffs, they
It
lost
was
every single
10,
time.
10
It's
wins.
10-6, it
Yeah.
was 9-7. It wasn't helpful
Hey, that's
seasons.
a Caldwell undefeated season as far as I'm concerned.
Dude, it was beautiful. It was cinema. I'm surprised you didn't want to talk about the Dolphins game. Oh my gosh, where did
I, I
that
kind
come
of
from?
I kind of dunked on the Bills earlier, but yeah, how did the Bills not have 400 rushing yards in this game? Everyone can put up 300 yards on the Bill or on the Dolphins, and they're just like it looked like they forgot how to play football.
Yeah, the Dolphins traded away the farm, right? Jalen Phillips is gone. They have Minka
Jalen Phillips
Fitzpatrick.
is on air saying this is the best day of my life, and he had a kid like a week ago, right? I mean, it's like all these things that have happened in his life in the last year. He's like, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. Like ultimate lowest of the low vibes.
That
And
should
then
should have been on the
Dolphins come
farm.
out and just dunk on the Bills. They're freaking surfing in the laundry carts in their locker room. McDaniels is up on a soapbox, think like getting his swag back. It's like, did the Bills just unlock something in this team that we've never seen before?
It's wild, man, and it's all coming back on the back of running backs. I mean, that's kind of the theme of the season. It feels like a little bit. It's like, hey, all these defenses are getting smaller, they're getting faster, but also they can't hit anyone anymore. So like these running backs that are maybe a little bit smaller, perhaps a little bit undersized, they're able to just feast as they just are dodging some of these defenders. I got a stat for you. Devon Achane against the Bills this past week had 11 forced missed tackles, the most in a game in his career. Also, 195 of his 225 total yards came after contact. He is just running through
That's
arm
a man.
tackles.
That's a man's
Crazy.
performance right there.
He had multiple icers in that game too. Multiple long runs, including a 50-yarder, basically to close the game. Dude is crazy. I love HA. We were talking about him. We were talking him up as like a top five fantasy RB. I had a few people reach out to me and they're like, "Dude, are you sure? Like that Dolphins team could be pretty stinky." And it is a stinky team, but like, goddamn, is A Chain just literally trying to prop them up the best that he can?
Well, even as bad as they were last year, Achane got like 10 targets a game. It was like his floor was 15 points. He felt pretty good when he was on your roster.
Yeah, the A Chain risk is like, hey, he gets injured and then they shut him down, but like he hasn't gotten hurt this year. So let it
Yeah.
ride, baby. Let it ride.
Don't talk about what can happen. Talk about what is happening.
I forgot to mention a Demarcus Lawrence stat. I wrote this down. Demarcus Lawrence has more touchdowns this season than Terry McLaurin. That's a D
Ooh.
lineman, baby. That's a D lineman.
Oof town population you, bro. Because I mean, Terry McLaurin has what, like 4 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown on the season?
Yeah, that touchdown against the Chiefs and nothing else. We didn't get to talk through waiver claims before they went through. We got the graphic out. I was really scratching the bottom of the barrel. It's a pretty rough
Not
waiver
a lot out
week.
there.
Who are you looking at, and who are you looking to cut this week?
I think Pierce and Franklin are the two obvious ones,
Yeah,
right? And you definitely got them. Um,
their nickname
yeah,
could be waiver at
they
this
cut
point
him
because they're
off, right?
always just
Mooney,
toiling there.
yeah, and like cut him off like Mooney makes sense. I think Hubbard you got to keep just because what can happen should Dowdle go down. He's almost like now he's Dowdle at the beginning of the season. Like, well, if the number one goes down, he's got a role. Gainwell's completely droppable, right? And then yeah, Jordan Mason, DJ Moore. I would be terrified to start either of those two. Like
Yeah,
that's a panic button candidate if I've ever seen one.
I think I could be wrong. I might be looking at a different week. DJ Moore 0 fantasy points this past week. Didn't have a single catch.
Oh, I
Very
felt
very
it.
tough. Yeah, very.
Another week where I got a zero burger out of a non-injured player.
Gotta love that, and especially when Caleb Williams is just, he's just looking to run first, second, third down. Getting rushing touchdowns. It's awesome if you own Caleb Williams, but DJ Moore, it's like you're just not getting those red zone targets like he usually does. And then
Mhm.
the Mason thing is weird. I just, this might be my bias. I think Mason's just incredibly untalented, and Aaron
And
Jones
as
is
long as
just,
Aaron Jones is healthy, he is talented,
and Aaron Jones is
even as an
like,
old man.
Aaron Jones is talented and like he is healthy seemingly right now. Jordan Mason's also beat up. And Jordan Mason just like he didn't even get double digit carries this past week. And it's like I just don't really see why would you roster him when he's averaging like 3.5 yards per carry.
He
I
didn't
was
take advantage of Aaron Jones being hurt. Like,
yeah.
he's not going to do well when Aaron Jones is healthy.
Jordan Mason was not someone that I was excited to draft this year. I didn't draft him anywhere, and I just feel a little bit vindicated that he has been an absolute nothing burger this season. Anyone else you want to highlight? We got less than a minute.
No, Aaron Jones, please save me. I actually highlighted. I drafted more Aaron Jones than Jordan Mason for sure. Because again, that was just one of those ones. I'm like, I've seen the Mason thing before. It ain't it.
We've seen the story. You can't fool me twice.
That's
Ball
right.
knower over here. All right. We'll see y'all next week.
See you, team.
See ya.